Welcome to the Center for Spiritual Living Cultural Coast. I'm Reverend Theresa, and I'm just so happy that you're here with me this morning. I am broadcasting to you from Sarasota, Florida, but we are broadcasting, doing this love streaming all over the world, and we get to demonstrate that in a big way this morning, so it's very exciting. And another thing that's exciting that my dear Evan Schulte just reminded me of is this is my very first Sunday officially as an ordained minister with this community, with the Centers for Spiritual Living. So that gave me, as she reminded me just a couple minutes ago, that gives me a little extra oomph, a little extra excitement about this morning. And again, I want to thank you for being here with me. That's a little bit about me, but what I know about you is that you are a unique, divine, brilliant, authentic, shining expression of the one, source and substance of all life that comes from the invisible into form, and it has come into form as you. And how brilliant is that? And so together, you and I, we create the beloved community. We create this world that has woken up, right? We get to do that. We get to do that. And so we do it by coming together and doing our spiritual work. And so again, thank you. I missed being with you all last week, but I know you were in great hands with Rev G. And I appreciate him being here for me, and I appreciate you all also sending your thoughts and prayers, your loving support for my brother-in-law who suffered a stroke last Friday. And he is coming along quite well, and so those prayers mean everything, right? We know the power of our minds when we align with spiritual intent, don't we? That's what we're all about here. So this month, this is a new month. Today is the first Sunday of March, so two things get to happen. First, we have a new theme, and secondly, it's our time to hone our spiritual practice. Always on the first Sunday of the month, we do what I'm calling a contemplative service, where we really look at a style or a particular spiritual practice, and you get a chance to do that, to experience it in community. And so that's what we're doing this morning. The theme for March for all of Centers for Spiritual Living across the globe is open to possibilities. We're taking a look and really expanding our mind's eye, our hearts. We're opening to greater possibilities, to really the highest idea for our lives this month, the very highest idea. We are looking for the impress of spirit upon our lives, greater than what we in our own human concepts might imagine for ourselves, right? So that's what we're looking to do. We're going to be looking at the practice of visioning throughout the entire month. This morning, we're starting with Julie Birch, who's going to lead us in a guided meditation, opening our awareness to all that is available for us and how we are that hands and feet of the divine. And let's just begin with a short little practice that I've been doing for myself here now over the last few weeks. Very quickly, I want you to just let go of everything outside. Maybe close your eyes, tune inward, letting go of all that you've done this morning or this evening. Let go of everything. And bring your present awareness to this very moment, recognizing that truly in this moment we are immersed in the divine mind, consciousness itself, that creative intelligence that brings life, as I said, from the invisible into form. And it does so right now. And so let us just ask, what is it that Spirit would have me know today? Listen. What is it that Spirit would have me know this day? What is it that Spirit would have me know right now? And what I affirm is that for each and every one of us, whether it's a word, the music, a feeling, an emotion, a vision, a picture, the silence itself, that something this morning during our gathering sparks that which Spirit would have us know this day. That truly, this time is a time of revelation where we align beautifully, beautifully with this knowing that is in and all around us that seeks expression through us. This I know for myself and for each one of us, and so it is. And so it is. So be it. Yeah. Now, man, do we have a treat for you? Do we have a treat for you this morning? We have a musician who is coming to us from Austria. Live from Austria. Now, I looked it up this morning, and it would take 16 hours and 35 minutes for me to travel from Sarasota to where she is in Austria. Yeah, 16 hours and 35 minutes. And like that, she is going to be right here with us, and I am so excited. Let's listen and see and be introduced to Claudia Lammermeyer. Here she is.
I'm so pleased to be with you all here today, with my music, with my thoughts, and with my heart. Thank you so much for the invitation. My first song I bring is Ad Gurename. It is a mantra and it means I connect with the wisdom which always was, which through all ages is the true wisdom. And after that, because it is very short, I try to interpret the song from Loretta McKennitt. Loretta writes in her CD booklet, have been reading through the poetry of 15th century Spain, and I find myself drawn to one by the mystic writer and visionary St. John of the Cross. The untitled work is an exquisite, richly metaphoric love poem between himself and his God. Enjoy first Ad Gurename and Dark Night of the Soul. Siri Guru Deva Name Puraname Juga Puraname Sat Gurename Siri Guru Deva Name. Upon a darkened night, the flame of love was burning in my breast. By a lantern bright, I fled my house while all in quiet rest. Shrouded by the night and by the secret stair, I quickly fled. The veil concealed my eyes, while all within lay quiet as the dead. All night the was my guide, of night transforming each of them into the other. Upon that misty night, in secrecy beyond such mortal sight, without her guide a light than that which burned so deeply in my heart. That fire 'twas led me on, and shone more bright than of the midday sun, to where he waited still. It was a place where no one else could come. All night through was my guide, of night more loving than the rising sun. All night that joined the lover to the beloved one, transforming each of them into the other. Within my pounding heart, which kept itself entirely from him, he fell into his sleep. Beneath the cedars all my love I gave. From all the fortress walls, the wind should brush his hair against his brow, and with his smoothest hand caressed my every sense it would allow. All night through was my guide, of night more loving than the rising sun. All night that joined the lover to the beloved one, transforming each of them into the other. I lost myself to him, laid my face upon my lover's breast, and care and grief grew dim, as in the morning's mist became the light. There they dimmed amongst the lilies fair. There they dimmed amongst the lilies fair. Thank you. Back to Theresa.
So beautiful. So beautiful. Thank you, Claudia. I think this is such a great demonstration, really, of two things. One, you know, we've bemoaned the 2020, the pandemic, and our change of ways of doing things, our normal ways of doing things. But it has opened us to opportunities that we may not have had before. So Claudia came to us by way of her interest in Elaine Silver's music and found us. And since that very first morning, Sunday morning, which is evening for her, it's evening in Austria right now, she's been with us every Sunday since then. And she's been coming on the Zoom social time, and we're getting to know her. And even if there's a language difference, or you know, as she's singing in her native language, that love, that presence transcends everything, doesn't it? There's something that transcends everything. It transcends our conflicts, our problems, our frustrations, our isolations. It transcends everything. And that's what we seek to live within. That's what we seek to commune with. I've been visioning for many years now, and now I'm developing a daily habit of just asking questions, be on the fly, practicing being in a daily habit, a living way, a daily walking around way of knowing that I am always connected, that I am inseparable from that something with a capital S, right? And part of that is having a sense of curiosity about life, you know, letting go of the way things have to be, and having a curiosity about life. Well, let me tell you, I've been challenged with that. Most of you know, Bobby and I moved in October, and we've been remodeling our home ever since then. Extremely challenging to do our daily life, and for me to, quote, run a business and be my spiritual self in constant dust, clutter, disorder, and having multiple people in and out of my house, multiple energies in and out of my house. So I've started asking myself, what would Spirit have me know today? And I always get something immediately. And what I usually get is, you are loved. What would Spirit have me know today? You are loved. What would Spirit have you know today? I don't know. What answer did you get? I am loved. And I carry that idea with me during the day so that it becomes an embodiment for me and a becoming, and my becoming that love, me growing into that highest idea that Spirit has for me, is a transformational process. So I'm going to encourage you all month long to get in the habit of being curious about a higher idea, a higher possibility, a grander possibility for your life. In any circumstance, we can ask ourselves, what wants to happen here? What wants to happen? What wants to be known? How am I getting in the way of a greater possibility emerging out of this situation? What greater possibilities could there possibly be? What's seeking to emerge? I mean, it's endless, isn't it? How curiosity can lift us out of a problem into possibility, infinite possibilities. So I want us to really be thinking in that realm with this month. What if we could maintain a sense of curiosity and openness to life and enhance our connection to it, our connection to that one mind, to consciousness with a capital C, to that power and presence, that source and substance of all life that is coming in as and through us. What if that became our way of being? What if we changed our own way of doing daily life and became a transformative power and presence for the entire world? What if? What if our recognition that we are immersed in the one creative intelligence, that it is seeking expression, there's an urge that just wants to be loosened from within me? What if? What if? What would it look like to live like that? We're going to be discussing this and practicing it all month. We're going to seek direct revelation. Direct revelation. Ernest Holmes says, anyone who lives in close contact with the one, with the divine source, can have direct revelation. I believe that. I know. It's not a belief. It's a know that I know because I've done it. We can all do it. We can all do this. We can live in union, in unity, in alignment with what wants to come forth. Michael Beckwith, who developed this thing called visioning, said this: when your thoughts and actions begin to align with the imperatives of your soul, the imperatives of your soul, you enroll the full support of the universe. The full support. Unimagined possibilities begin to open up as you synchronize with the divine. That's what we're going to be doing all month long. And we're going to begin this morning with a meditative process by our practitioner, Julie Birch, who is just absolutely expert instructor on this. And first, we're going to hear from our spiritual practitioner, Ethelyn Enos, and her wife, Catherine Cornelius.
Thank you. Thank you, Theresa.
Thanks, Theresa.
Thank you. It's so great to be here. I was drawn to a particular writer named Jan Phillips. Some of you may have read some of her beautiful writings. This particular gorgeous poem comes from her book, No Ordinary Time, The Rise of Spiritual Intelligence and Evolutionary Creativity. And I was inspired by this poem because it brings out the desire to go and move towards compassionate action in our lives and to recognize that. So let me just read it. The title of this is My Soul Speaks to My Body on Its Deathbed. It never mattered how you looked, those $65 haircuts, the leather boots from Nordstrom's. Even the Honda Hybrid wasn't that important. What mattered was the night you said in front of everyone, I'm sorry, to that student you'd hurt. It didn't matter that you got standing ovations, were popular on Facebook, and had a good review. What mattered is that every time you spoke, you told the truth, opened your heart, dared to cry and laugh out loud. It didn't matter that you couldn't find an agent or a partner or that handyman you wish for. What mattered is that as alone as you were, you kept on working, kept on writing, kept a comforter handy for the ones needing warmth. It didn't matter that you let the phone ring, spent that whole day in bed, took naps in the daytime to rest your brain. What mattered were those $20 bills you mailed out to your high school English teacher who lives alone. Those groceries and meals you carried up to your mother's apartment. That phone call to your brother offering to come for the weekend and help him clean out his garage. It didn't matter that you had a house in the East and a house in the West, that you had gorgeous scarves and jaw-dropping photos on your walls. What mattered is the dinner parties you had that brought people together, made a sacrament of the sound of their words falling like leaves into the soil of another. It never mattered that you fell over drunk from margaritas, that you traded your body for a bed off the highway that night you hitchhiked from Berkeley to Oregon, that you smoked or snorted whatever you did before you woke up to a brighter day. What mattered was that you wrangled conversations like a rodeo superstar, transformed lamentations into illuminations, converted noise and static into sonnets and sonatas. It didn't matter that you never learned yoga, didn't exercise like you said you would, spent whole days in the toy shop of your office, turning nothing into something that would matter to someone. It mattered that you had forgiven everyone and realized that there was nothing to forgive. It matters that you came out, stood out, sang out, spoke out, acted out, and broke out before you wore out. And as you prepare to return to the mother, it matters now that your light will go on to feed the living as your body feeds the soil where you are laid to rest.
Oh, that's nice, honey. Very nice. Oh, very nice indeed. My story is a little on the same wavelength, I think, with Ethelyn's, and especially with what Theresa said earlier. I wrote down a few things. Theresa, you were talking about, transformation, urges, direct revelations, and then what ifs. What if? Well, with everything that's been going on lately with, Mr. Potato Head, the Seuss, Dr. Seuss books, a lot of transformation, a lot of realization has been going out in the world. And there was a short story here I wanted to read to everyone. It was very exciting to me when I first read it 60 years ago. So we'll go back 60 years in the Deep South. His name was John Howard Griffin. And he was a Texas-born man, a white Texas man. And he decided to get a taste of what reality was like for an African-American man living in the segregated Deep South. This gentleman, John Howard Griffin, he dyed his skin with a combination of sun lamps and pigment darkening medication, and then spent 6 weeks traveling and working in Louisiana, Mississippi, Georgia, and South Carolina as a Black man in the Deep South. And the funny thing was about this, nobody ever suspected that he wasn't a Black man. It was an eye-opening experience for John. Working as a shoeshine boy in New Orleans, he was struck by how white people stared through him without acknowledging his presence. He experienced the everyday indignities of segregation and separation, such as walking miles to find the use of a toilet, and was subjected not just to racist verbal abuse, but also treated physical violence and abuse. He wrote about his experience in a monthly magazine called, and I hope I'm saying this right, Sepia, S-E-P-I-A, which had sponsored his experiment. And later, it was a best-selling book back in 60 years ago, a book called Black Like Me. Today, it might seem a little condescending or unethical, and I'm sure it does, for a white man to speak on behalf of racial groups. But at the time, most African-American civil rights activists, they saw his work as necessary because it was so hard for the African-Americans to get their own voices heard. Griffin gained widespread attention for the cause of racial inequality, and he worked with Dr. Martin Luther King, which is one of my heroes. At the heart of his book, in his resounding message about the value of empathy and about non-separation, he says, if only we could put ourselves in the shoes of others to see how we would react, then we might become aware of the injustice of discrimination and the tragic inhumanity of every kind of prejudice. Put yourself in the shoes of that person. And when Theresa said transformation, you couldn't find a better transformation than this gentleman who painted himself as a Black man to go into the South and pull out all the absurdities that happened just 60 some years ago. It blows my mind. But thank you for him, and thank you for Spirit coming in our bodies and allowing us to walk on this earth and do the right thing. This man did the right thing, no doubt about it. He did the right thing. And you know who else did the right thing? It makes me think of Mr. Roger. You know, I wrote this, I'm like, you come and be my neighbor. I'm telling you, we're going to get along just great. I love it. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Catherine.
You're welcome.
From your heart.
It is.
And now
Theresa?
I think we are going to have Claudia come back here
yay.
pretty soon,
Yay.
which is wonderful.
Thanks, Ethelyn and Catherine, for these wonderful readings. Wonderful people on this earth compose wonderful music. I love to sing these enchanting songs. And sometimes, very rarely, I write a song myself. The next one is such a song I was led to. It was given to me in a language I don't know. Reverend Theresa would say, "Oh, Claudia, it is the divine download." And I'm sure it was. So I invite you now to open the connection to the divine source, to God, to Goddess, to the divinity. Become calm. Be ready for the meditation that follows with our wonderful Julie, calling the light.
Thank you, Claudia. That was beautiful. Welcome, and please join me. It's time for us to bring ourselves into intentional alignment with Source. Source is always present, but we are not always aware or conscious of our alignment with it. And so as the potter takes a ball of clay and puts it on the wheel and brings it into center, and when that clay comes into center, it feels still as it spins on the wheel. Let us bring ourselves into center and make ourselves available to the divine stillness that is within. And so I invite you now to bring yourself to an upright position. Lift your heart, bring your shoulders back. And if you're comfortable doing so, close your eyes. There will be some periods of silence. So if it is quiet, that doesn't mean your speaker is not working. Let's begin by relaxing the forehead. And letting go of any tension in the jaw. And letting the tongue be easy in the mouth. And see if you can let go of any tension you might be holding in your shoulders. I invite you to bring your attention to the sensation of breath in your belly or your chest. Not trying to change it, just being aware of it. If other thoughts come to your mind, simply bring your attention back to the sensation, the feeling of your breath in your body. You have the option of staying focused on your breath. But if you're comfortable doing so, I invite you to expand your awareness and include the entirety of your body, sort of moving out to a global experience of the feeling of your body in space. Nothing to change, just being present. If there are sounds around you, simply bring your attention back to feeling the space of your body. If you're tired and getting sleepy, it's okay to crack your eyes. It's also okay to return to feeling your breath. But I invite you now to see if you can expand your awareness to include the area just outside of your body, just a few inches beyond the border of your skin. Can you expand your awareness even farther out into the space around you? Can you connect with a sense of the infinite source that condenses and consolidates as you? It is infinitely around you. Sometimes when we expand our focus, we may momentarily lose track or lose awareness of part of our body. And if that happens, it's perfectly normal. There's nothing wrong. If it's uncomfortable for you, you can go back to experiencing your breath or feeling the sense of yourself in the chair. But I invite you to sit with the presence of the infinite. The light of God surrounds us. The love that is source enfolds us. Can you be open to the comforting presence that is source? That is the truth of who we are. Divine intelligence moves in, as, and through us. Divine intelligence offers guidance, and when we are still, we can listen to the whisperings of spirit. Now bring your attention back to the space immediately around your body. Bringing your attention back to the sense of your skin and your body in space. And bringing your attention back to the rise and fall of your breath. I'd like to invite you to call to mind a person or pet for whom you feel great love. And be in touch with where those feelings of love and affection show up. Where do you feel them in your body? Notice how positive feelings of love show up in your body and allow yourself to experience them as you hold in your mind the thought of someone, person, or a pet who's very easy to love. We do our practice to be in touch with the inner wisdom, the infinite source of love at our core, to do our own work so that we can show up in the world as the best possible version of ourselves, as the highest possibility of what we are meant to be. We do this practice, this work on ourselves, in service to ourselves, to our families and communities, and to the world. In a moment, we will be ending this period of practice, but know that you can allow any positive feelings that you generated during this practice together. You can allow them to run in the background as you move into the rest of your day, knowing that they are a natural part of who you are, and you can return to them whenever you want to stop and take a moment to practice and know the truth. And so I invite you now to slowly and gently open your eyes and take this practice, eyes open or shut, into listening as Claudia comes back for another song.
Wow, great experience. Thank you, Julie, so much. I can go to bed now because it's evening in Austria, but you? I think I should wake you up a little bit. My musical path went through international folk, blues, jazz, country to Greek music, which I sang and played for over 10 years. Now I'm already grown up and just sing what I enjoy. And the next song is a gospel song that I love very much, but I rewrote the lyrics inspired by Elaine. Made from the waters, made from the waters of wellspring, made from the waters. A goddess waters, the source of all life. Who's that goddess dressed in white? Made from the waters, a light that shining ever so bright. She's the water, the source of all life. Made from the water, made from the water of wellspring, made from the water. A goddess water, the source of all life. Who this goddess dressed in red, made from the water. Passion and fire crushing on dread. She's the water, the source of all life. Who's that goddess dressed in black, made from the water? Shed your illusions and look for the track. She's the water, the source of all life. Made from the water, made from the water of wellspring, made from the waters. A goddess waters, the source of all life. White, red, black in all their might, made from the waters. Open your heart and let in the light. Mineral water, the source of all life. They are the water, the source of all life. And they are the water, the source of all life. They are the water, the source of life. Thank you very much and good morning.
Oh my goodness. Oh, thank you so much, Claudia. Thank you so much for being here with us. And yes, you can have a restful evening now, and we are going to have a beautiful day. Your music has really touched me, I'm sure all of us this morning, and just beautiful. And Julie, thank you so much for your meditation and the readings. Effie and Catherine, always a delight. It's now we're going to move into our time of offering, our time of financial support for this community and this ministry. And I want to take something that Julie said in her meditation, where she had us begin with an experience of the body, the physical form of the body, and then we move out into the more ethereal, right? That which can't be seen but can still yet be felt and is very, very much real. And so let's take that concept or that idea and apply it to money. Yes? What is money? It is that ethereal in form. It is the divine one source substance in form. It is an expression. It is an energy in form that we use. And yet it is so much more. So as you prepare your gifts, and Evan is posting in the chat, and if you're watching us from YouTube, it's there in more information at YouTube, the different ways that you can support this community and with your form of money. Imagine, if you would, as you're preparing and as you're giving, all that it is, because it is so much more than the form. Yes? It is so much more. It is a divine idea of love, of support. It is an energy. So put your energy into your gift, if you would, please. Bobby, why don't you come in here and we'll do our chant.
I receive the gift of life and pass it on. I receive the gift of love and pass it on. I receive the gift of joy and pass it on. I receive all good and pass it on. I receive the gift of life and pass it on. I receive the gift of love and pass it on. I receive the gift of joy and pass it on. I receive all good and pass it on.
Just stay right here. I just have a couple quick announcements. This whole morning was a beautiful demonstration of who and what practitioners are. Yes, we had Ethelyn, we had Julie and Bobby here as practitioners of this center. And one of the classes that you take on your training towards practitioner is a meditation course, and of course you learn about spiritual mind treatment or affirmative prayer, and which is a very logical process of aligning yourself with spirit and then claiming that which you want to demonstrate in your life. And you learn those skills. You learn meditation in many different forms and spiritual mind treatment or affirmative prayer in this class that Julie Birch is going to be teaching, and it begins Monday, March 15th. So it's coming right up. It's going to be a daytime course, 1 to 4, and it's a 10-week offering. And it's going to take that time for you really to have the experience, and you're going to have homework, opportunities at home to hone these skills and try out different meditations and find the one that really goes kerchunk for you, the one that really feels powerful and puts you in that space of communion and alignment. And Julie Birch is really the perfect person to facilitate this learning, this process. Julie has been a meditator since she was in her teens, and she's also a professional teacher of children and now adults. And so it really is a grand opportunity. And what I really want to express, and please do hear me, if you have an interest in this class, but you don't have necessarily the form of the money sitting in your bank ready to write a check right now, please do talk to me or Julie. Talk to us, because we have scholarship money available. And if that feels funny to you, talk to us, because we want to pray with you. Our intention for this community, for the Centers for Spiritual Living Cultural Coast, is to be a loving and supportive presence in your life, to be a loving and supportive presence. And so let us know how we can be that for you in your spiritual journey. Now, also, I want to remind you that Julie gifts a meditation experience every single Thursday evening at 6:30. It is a beautiful, beautiful experience. It's an opportunity if you're new to meditating or if you are an advanced meditator. I love going to this session. I always pick up something, and she has a very unique way of delivering mindfulness meditation to us, and you just experience some of it. So I really do encourage you to take advantage of these offerings, and my heart and all my love and appreciation goes out to Julie for how she so beautifully supports all of us in this community and all our practitioners. With that, make sure that if you want prayer support, you let us know, right?
Prayer, yeah, email prayer@cslculturalcoast.org.
And we'll be on it.
Yes.
We'll be on it. Prayer works, man. Let us do it. We love it. All right. Bobby's going to close us out. I'm going to put the Zoom in the link for the Zoom in the chat, and I'll see you in a couple minutes. Love you so much.
I'm closing out with Infinite Possibilities. Is that
Yes.
Melissa Felipe?
Yes.
Melissa Felipe.
Melissa
did.
Felipe.
Wrote this.
Beautiful. Yeah.
All right,
Thank you.
Thank you. Raise the camera just a dab.
Oh. So I'm going to cut your head off.
above the love of all creation. There is an endless supply of the power that brings us here. And when we harness that life, you know nothing can stop us now. Yes, and everything can happen right here. So open your heart and start believing. The only limit is your mind. You can have everything. Let's go beyond fantasy, 'cause we're living in a world of infinite possibilities. Knowing who we are, spirit of pure divinity, manifesting our dreams, stepping into the mystery. 'Cause we're living in a world of infinite possibilities. Come on, step into the limitless who you are. Follow the path that leads to freedom. You only need to let it be, 'cause everything's there within. You know expansion is a natural thing, 'cause we're living in a world of infinite possibilities. Knowing who we are, spirit of pure divinity, manifesting our dreams, stepping into the mystery. 'Cause we're living in a world of infinite possibilities. Knowing who we are, spirit of pure divinity, manifesting our dreams, stepping into the mystery. 'Cause we're living in a world of infinite possibilities. Yes, we are living